Welcome to ForCrazyMinds. I'm Destry Dex Brown.
I'm Brad Trisdale.
I'm Alex Salos.
And I'm Shay Jollinger. And we got Destry back.
Yay!
I was going one
Destry
week.
problems.
Destry problems.
Alright, so this week we are talking about Stan Lee and what he meant to us. Because...
That's a good way to start.
Yep.
So
This is our Stan Lee tribute episode. Now, the whole episode probably won't be about Stan Lee.
I don't know, it might be.
A bit of it. Brad gets into it.
Well, it's important.
It is important.
Alright, so Destry, you start us off.
In fact, I should
With
go last.
what Stan Lee meant to me?
And, so what he meant to you, favorite characters that he created, favorite universe that he was a part of.
All of them.
All of them?
He's in DC too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
He's there.
Start with your favorite character that he created.
Ooh, we need to test Destry's trivial knowledge on who actually created the character.
Let's go with Brad because I'm actually thinking about this. Who's your
Iceman.
favorite? Iceman? Okay.
He created almost.
Almost all the X-Men.
Yeah, it's easy to pick.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I kind of have to go with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, now with Spider-Man, even Stan Lee says he just had the idea for the character. It was Kirby that made Spider-Man come to life.
Kirby made the drawing.
But
Stan
that's
Lee
what
came up with the concept. I like the concept of Spider-Man.
Right, but Stan Lee attributes the creation of Spider-Man
They're
to
co-creators.
They're
co-creators. But if you look at it, it always says Spider-Man created by
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Yep.
So yeah, Spider-Man.
Okay.
Why Spider-Man?
I like the concept. I like the idea of a really kind of genius teenager that's just kind of a smartass.
Okay.
Because like, you look at the first Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, 1, 2, and 3, he was such a fucking pussy. He was a pansy in those shows. And that's alright. But that's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man is... the movies, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield. As much as everybody talks shit about those and hates those are the closest to Stan Lee's original creation that I can find, where he's just a smart, snarky kind of dickhead.
Well, he wasn't the one to run away from fear. He was the one to pop a joke off at its face and hope everything goes well.
Although I do like the Tom Holland version of the movies, but to me, Spider-Man will be the Spider-Man from the comics, always. Smart ass, kind of snarky, in love with
Whoever at the time is toying with his heart.
Yeah. Gwen Stacy is my Spider-Man girlfriend. First girlfriend, and a lot of people, that's kind of why I don't like the original trilogy of movies, because
Gwen Stacy died, like in the comics?
the original trilogy of movies, Gwen Stacy was
she
barely
didn't
mentioned.
die.
It was all Mary Jane.
And then she died randomly.
Yeah, and Mary Jane was brought into the comics by the death of... Well, she had been in the comics, but she was Spider-Man's girlfriend through the death of Gwen Stacy. They were both mourning their friend.
Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, Stan Lee didn't plan on Gwen Stacy to die.
No.
Do you know what happened there?
Not exactly.
Okay, so Stan Lee had an interview one time and he talked about this. He had business to go do, for whatever reason, his words, in London. And so one of his friends, I can't remember the name of the writer, but he let him write while he was gone. 2 weeks he was gone.
Yeah,
He's
without approval.
Well, he trusted him wholeheartedly to write off of what he had been setting up. He said, just go with what makes sense. Just write what you would normally write for this. And because Stan Lee, when a comic book comes out, he'll read it. Even if he was the one who wrote it. Mm-hmm. And then he'd be like, oh, I can't believe I wrote that. I'm such a genius. But
I'm such a genius.
But when he came back, he was heartbroken to find out that Gwen Stacy, this character that was supposed to be part of this triangle that was going to go on forever was just dead. Now, he couldn't be mad about it. Like, he was upset, partially. But part of him knew that he had to move on with it because sometimes things have to make sense. Anyway, moving back on to, back to topic. So what did Stan Lee mean to you? Like,
to me, Stan Lee was my childhood, pretty much. Stan Lee started Marvel and is the one that developed the X-Men, developed Spider-Man, developed all these characters that resonated with me.
right.
That was Stan Lee and pro wrestling. That was my childhood. Pretty much.
So if Colossus became a wrestler, that'd be your
comics and pro wrestling. That was my childhood.
Right.
Why am I getting a weird look from Alex?
The idea just came in my head.
What kind of idea?
We see all this media about, Stan Lee's death. And yet, out of everything I've read so far, I don't know if any of you caught it, but I haven't heard anything from Kevin.
From Kevin Feige?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith?
I haven't heard anything about what he's made a tribute or if he's in mourning. Or...
He put out a couple tweets.
Did he? Okay.
Well, he's still kind of busy. Like, even
because I knew that when Stan Lee was accusably getting abused where he was living.
Oh, Kevin was all
over it. This week on Fat Man Beyond, which used to be Fat Man on Batman, now it's Fat Man Beyond.
That's funny.
Yeah. The last episode was the day before Stan Lee died. And it was Tara Strong. Was the guest, the voice of Harley Quinn. And Tommy Pickles from Rugrats and so many voices.
All the good stuff.
She did a lot of them too. She's so gorgeous. She's yummy.
Anyway,
but that was just.
But that'll take us another 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was the day before. It was the day before Stan Lee passed.
5.5.
There it goes.
There it goes. All right, go ahead.
Oh, right on.
So we're having some.
Where did we leave off?
We're having some technical issues.
Yeah, having some technical difficulties.
So
but
we may have to restart. Hold on.
We may not have to restart. They'll understand.
All right. Well,
just give us a second and recollect.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead because it's going now.
Okay. So, like I was about to say, we
short recap.
Recap.
Kevin Smith will probably be doing a
special
tribute this week on Fat Man Beyond. Not sure. We're doing a tribute to Stan Lee for this episode that will probably devolve into other issues because we're not going to do a whole episode about Stan Lee, but there might be touches about Stan Lee through our other topics.
Right, okay. And what they may have missed, depending on where that cut out, was while Destry was talking about what Stan Lee meant to him, Alex asked, well, he hadn't heard anything about Kevin Smith commenting on it.
Which is what brought that whole up.
And then I was about to discuss about how Butch Hartman, because I watch a lot of his stuff, because Danny Phantom, he was actually walking away from the fire that was near his house when he recorded a video of it. And it was about 5 minutes Stan Lee and 2 minutes him saying, oh yeah, we're all right, our house isn't on fire. But back on topic, so the 3 things we wanted to discuss were what Stan Lee meant to us, favorite character, and then there was a third category. What did you say?
Favorite, universe.
Oh, well, once again, that one's... It's not moot, but at the same time, he's so prevalent.
What do you mean by favorite universe?
Are you talking the Avengers universe versus the X-Men universe?
They're all the same.
They're all the same in the comics, but in the movies they're different.
Right.
That's right. You're not a comic guy, you're a movie guy.
Right.
So favorite Stan Lee inspired movie universe.
There you go.
Oh.
I
don't... Because my favorite Stan Lee is the one from the Spider-Man... I think it was the one before Ultimate TV series.
The
one where Spider-Man goes to our world and meets Stan Lee, and Stan Lee's like, Spider-Man, you're real. And he's like, I think so. And he discusses with Spider-Man that he's, not really. He does his best to tell him who he is without saying you're a comic book work of fiction. He says, in my world, I write your story.
Yeah, I believe that's the Amazing Spider-Man animated
I
series.
love that one because every time that version of Spider-Man went somewhere and saw someone who reminded him of Stan Lee, he's like, I should go visit Stan sometime. Or, I wonder what the old man would have to say about this. Like, he always had questions like that.
Now, the new Spider-Man universe had Stan Lee as an actual character in it, where he was a janitor.
He's that in all. He's that in all of the animated ones. Actually.
Yeah.
Whenever Peter Parker's in school, he's Stan Lee the janitor.
Stan the
janitor, and he's got his soapbox that he puts out, and he stands on it, and he spiels like he used to at the beginning of comics.
All right, so my favorite universe, we've already discussed my favorite character, Spider-Man. What Stan Lee meant to me was pretty much just he is who informed who I am, because my favorite comics when I was a kid was X-Men and Spider-Man and Marvel. Yeah. And a little DC, but mostly Marvel. And some Dark Horse. And, okay. Anyway,
it's
comics.
It goes.
Comics. But, my favorite movie universe is probably the Avengers universe. Because to me, there were so many flaws in the X-Men universe compared to what the comics were. And I'm kind of a purist on
how you want your thing to look.
Yeah, it has to match up with the comics. Now, what's fucked up is the Avengers universe doesn't match the comics. Like, it didn't start out matching the comics. Not a hell of a lot. No. But it's still my favorite universe, but probably because there's so much to it. And it's so in-depth.
Okay.
And Stan had a lot to do with that.
Oh, he did. Like, everyone says that he didn't have any part writing, he didn't have any part in this other stuff, but his presence just there influenced so much of what happened.
Yeah, he didn't have much to do with the creative process of it as much as he had to do with the influencing the people that did.
Right. It just... When someone's like, they were doing the Marvel Entertainment segment on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Marvel Entertainment did theirs. One of the guys said, and it's something that I believe 100%, is when somebody has that much charisma that they can impact the people around them into just changing wholeheartedly what they're going to do, what they're thinking, what they speak about. It just creates an atmosphere, and when he was around, he did that.
Yeah. So... We've got your favorite character.
Oh, save me for last,
Iceman,
I can talk
Bobby
about
Drake.
this for days.
All right. Alex, favorite character, favorite movie universe, or cinematic?
Well, I was going to say it's pretty much just two.
No, because you've got the Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I forget about the ones that not a lot of people like.
I'll go movies, but I'm not going to go universe. I'm just going to do cameo. I can't.
Oh,
no, okay. We didn't do that.
Cameo.
Yeah, those are good.
Mallrats.
Oh, you motherfucker! Yes. You stole mine.
Yeah,
he straight stole mine.
He just shows up out of the blue and starts talking to him.
Not really out of the blue. He had a signing in the mall.
Yeah, true.
And Brody's there looking for him to ask him about the Thing's cock.
Yeah, that was literally
It first starts off with. He doesn't know who he is. He just talks about his relationship, and then he realizes who he is.
Yeah, but the whole conversation that the character of Brody has with Stan Lee about the Thing's cock has pretty much influenced half of our podcasts. It's influenced half of mine and Chase conversations just in daily life.
You talk about the Thing's cock?
What does the Thing's cock look like? How big is Thor's hammer?
Okay, you don't need to air quote that one. That clear.
Stuff like that. Is the Hulk's cock...
Is the Hulk mad because it doesn't grow? Or is he mad because... Yeah, I know that one.
Okay, so... favorite cameo we got. Favorite character that he created. Or had some say in creating.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, but... very depressing in my own time. I haven't really seen what he's influenced.
Well,
Yeah, you don't quite know the byline of the characters, which ones are his and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
Because
most of them you could pretty much say nowadays.
Pretty much, yeah.
For
But
most saying, you could say he inspired it.
Even to me, now give credit where credit's due. The people that created the characters have the credit. But Stan Lee started Marvel, and in my opinion, Stan Lee had at least something to do with the creation of every character. Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Strange is a good one. And I don't even know if Stan Lee created Doctor Strange or not.
I don't remember. I watched a segment on YouTube the other day that talked about it. He had a part
I'll have to come back to that character one.
And what did Stan Lee mean to you?
Just seeing his influence over the world is just kind of impressive. Because, the man was in his age. I knew eventually. Me and an older friend were talking about this not even like 3 weeks ago, and we were mentioning
You killed Stanley.
Ha ha ha.
Hey, I don't want to hear it. I killed Lincoln Park. Remember? That happened. That's on the internet.
Yeah, how about we don't joke about the death of Stan Lee with it being so fresh?
I wasn't joking about it. I'm just saying.
And Doctor Strange was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
It was more of a conversation of, I don't have anything signed by Stan Lee, and if the man passes away, I'm going to regret that I don't have anything signed by Stan Lee. And I was just like,
oh, the second that I heard that he died, the first thing that popped in my head was, God damn it, there are two people in this entire world that I wanted to meet before I died, and Stan Lee was one of them. The other one is Matt Mercer.
I was in the same boat when I found out Stan Lee died. I'm like, I was just going to start saving money to go, like, do cons and other things and hope to see him one day. And no chance. Zero.
That's what I thought.
I'm upset.
Yeah, one of my other favorite characters was created by Stan Lee, and I wasn't 100% sure on it, but I am now.
Who was it?
Daredevil.
Yeah. I don't like Daredevil, but
I love Daredevil.
His story, like his concept is great. I just don't like the theory of blindness being a superpower because I'm, going blind and it's totally not a superpower.
The blindness isn't a superpower.
It's
the heightened senses after he loses his sight.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Shay. What are your answers? Because I don't remember the questions anymore.
All right, favorite character has been and probably always will be Colossus.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been a huge fan of Colossus. And favorite cameo? I don't even know. Like,
there's a lot.
I think my
favorite cameo is during Age of Ultron, when he drinks the Asgardian whiskey.
Oh, yeah, the Asgard,
the Asgardian liquor.
That's great.
My second favorite cameo would probably have to be Guardians of the Galaxy, where he's talking to the Watchers. Guardians Volume 2.
I forget that one every time because it's like a post-credit thing.
Yeah.
It's easy to miss.
And see, I feel weird because I don't really know what Stan Lee really... Because I wasn't a huge comic book kid when I was growing up.
No, but didn't you watch any comic book related cartoons or TV shows? I mean, shit.
Most of the comic books I always watched were like Batman, the animated series, Justice League, and Super Friends.
DC.
Yeah, because there just wasn't a lot of Marvel comics back in the day, like cartoon shows back in the day.
But Spider-Man was maybe the only one. The old Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Fantastic Four.
Of course, there was an animated
X-Men.
Spider-Man back in the friggin' 70s.
And see, yep. I never really watched the old animated Spider-Man show, so
Well, when you guys were growing up, you would have had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which was Spider-Man, Bobby Drake, and
which
Pike.
I think I've only seen like 5 episodes of.
And they weren't the best.
No, it's just like...
They were funny,
Of course, when we were younger, about middle school age, is when the original Spider-Man trilogy came out in the late 90s.
Yeah, but I wasn't a huge fan of Tobey Maguire.
Me either. Still
Not
ain't.
a lot of people were.
The only thing I really like about the original trilogy of Spider-Man was Sandman.
Oh, really? Thomas Hayden Church is Sandman?
Or the character.
The character Sandman.
Well, yeah. But,
I was going to say.
But like... I guess I like Green Goblin too, but like the Green Goblin suit was cool.
Back when they were using like Power Ranger suits for him?
Yeah. And
the movie version, Willem Dafoe. And,
Yeah.
To me, Willem Dafoe will always stand out in my mind as the Green Goblin and the Smecker from Boondock Saints.
Yeah,
but,
so like, I always feel weird when people ask me like what someone means to me, because I have a hard time finding like connections with certain things.
Motherfucker, what do I mean to you?
Well, you're like my brother.
Okay.
But like,
what does he mean to you, Brad? What does Brad mean to you?
Brad's a punching bag.
Yes.
But like,
my brain damage
Brad's
is
that
because
special needs kid
most
that we
of
have
my
to take care of.
childhood came from like playing World of Warcraft, Asheron's Call, stuff like that.
That stuff has...
World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft.
When you were a kid.
I like, again, other than when I was in high school, my summers consisted of playing sports.
When did World of Warcraft come out?
Like my sophomore year in high school.
Are you sure? Because I don't think it came out till after I was out of high school in 2004.
No, because it came out when I was definitely in high school.
I know Warcraft came out.
No, because in middle school I was playing Warcraft 2.
And here comes the phone race.
Absolutely, I looked shit up.
Alex is already on it. Let's see who gets there. Who knows how to get through?
Oh, I guess it did come out after I graduated.
Yep.
2004.
You didn't have a child.
That would be the year that I graduated.
But no, growing up I played sports.
Yeah.
I played soccer every summer, baseball every summer, church league volleyball. Like I didn't really do comic books or
Heroes or any other.
No, but see,
I remember having an old Silver Surfer comic, and the only reason I bought it is because it was hollow foil and it was pure white.
You bought it because it looked cool.
Yeah,
which is pretty much why you buy comics.
I think I read it like once.
I think I have hollow foil Silver Surfer.
But like a majority of the comics I did buy were all DC.
Yeah. No, your nerd cred kinda bleeds over into your childhood because if I remember correctly, you started role playing when you were really young.
I started role playing probably between 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah, you were like what?
When
11?
The Fry family moved into town.
Yeah.
Before that, I didn't role play.
And see, I didn't start role playing until later in life. I was 13.
Yeah, so most of my nerd things come from video games, computer games, and role playing like that.
That's what we need to do. We need to make a role play D20 system based on superheroes.
It's called Powers.
Champions.
Yeah, that's the one I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I thought that was...
I thought that was D10. Or
Mutants and
percentile.
Masterminds.
I thought it was percentile.
I don't... Okay, there's like 15 of them out there.
Yeah, I know.
Mutants
But
and
we
Masterminds Champions...
No.
I know GURPS is not D20.
No, it's D10.
No, it's terrible.
We need to come up with a homebrewed superhero game.
That's not hard to do. You take like... does it have to be D20? Because that's where you run into the problems.
D20 is the easiest system.
Honestly, I think
D10's the easiest system.
Well, yeah, it's the easiest system, but it's also the system that is so easy to manipulate.
It really is.
Yeah, so what you're saying is you want to manipulate it.
No, one success in the D10 system, you can roll 15 fucking
So
dice. One success, you automatically go through.
So what if we did it in a percentile system?
which is
That
how
could work.
most of them all work.
That could work. I like
I
percentile.
think that's how
Gamma
Mutants
World.
and Masterminds is.
Mutants and Masterminds, I believe champions because in order to roll your power,
You have to roll a percentile.
you don't have to roll your power. You can choose a power, but there is a power chart. And it's
Right.
literally a D100, and there are some good powers, and there are some really shitty ones.
D100.
I want to get a
Those
group
things are
together to play
goofy.
Firefly.
They're just like a ball.
Yeah.
I want to get a group together to run Firefly.
Oh, that'd be fun. D6 system.
D20. There's a D20 Firefly out
Yeah,
there.
it's a D20 system.
Or you could run it in
D20
Starfighter.
with mostly D6 kickers.
Yeah, it's like D12 plus D6 or something.
Yeah.
It's a weird system.
Yeah.
And see, folks, I told you that we talk about Stan Lee and devolve into something else.
But no, like
right now, roleplay is on all of our minds.
Yeah.
But like seriously, like connecting with Stan Lee is kind of hard for me because I only really know him from his cameos in movies.
There's a connection right there.
And like I don't remember if he was in the Edward Norton Hulk movie.
Yes.
Yep. He's been in all Marvel productions.
He's not all.
I don't remember him being
been.
in Elektra.
I don't. I didn't like Elektra, so I don't remember it.
There was a cameo, but it was a cameo like they did with Deadpool. It was a picture,
Oh, okay.
not a physical cameo. Same with Deadpool. It was a picture in Deadpool, and then Deadpool 2, he was graffiti. His face was graffiti on the billboard, and he did have an actual cameo, but
And
they cut it.
And I don't remember him in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a cameo there.
Then again, I've only seen half of the Daredevil movie, so
Yeah, you're not missing a lot.
And every time the Fantastic Four is a movie, he's always the postman for the Baxter Building.
Oh, wait. No.
He should be, because in
Nope.
the comics...
Number 2, Fantastic Four number 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh, yeah? What was he?
He was a guest at the wedding.
Yeah.
And is referred to as Hef because...
No, that's...
Oh, no,
that's
that's Iron Man. That's Iron Man.
Yeah, that's
But
Iron
he is
Man.
a guest at the wedding of Fantastic Four 2.
Yeah.
And, and they turn him away, just like they do his character in the comic. When he's a character in the comic that goes to the wedding in the comic and gets turned away. Same exact scene in the movie.
Yeah, that's because in the Fantastic Four, he's the in the comics he's the postman, and then in another
I
one
liked the
he's a
original
mayor.
Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, I didn't.
I
liked
thought
the Fantastic
I thought
Four.
the guy they played got to play Victor Doom was really good.
Julian.
Hard to screw up Victor Von Doom.
I can't remember his name. It's Julian something or other.
Anyway, but
I'd
yeah,
look it up,
so
but I'm too lazy.
comic book wise, I just don't really know anything other than he made the X-Men.
And see, to me, Fantastic Four never really. I didn't like the movies. I
You
don't
mean the
care
first
for
thing
the
he ever
comics. Yeah, I don't care. I liked the Fantastic Four comics. Did not like the movies because just visually it didn't connect with me compared to the comics.
Okay.
Yeah, but Stan Lee has had a cameo in every live-action Marvel production since Captain America in 1990,
Okay.
which was a TV series. He even had cameos on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter.
I haven't seen Agent Carter yet.
Yeah, I was about to say I haven't seen Agent Carter. Is it
Not
a good
missing a
cameo
lot.
or?
Not missing a lot. I quit watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after season 2.
Okay.
I finished
so
it.
that's my answers.
All right. So we've got all of our answers. Let's talk roleplay.
Ouch.
Or not. Let's talk something. Sorry, I've got
Well, I haven't
roleplay on the
had mine.
brain. Yeah, you did.
No, I only talked.
Oh,
about
that's
it.
right. You said come back to you last
Yeah.
because you can talk for an hour, which will fill this podcast, which means we don't have to talk.
No,
So-
I can cut it down. It's not hard.
I can whittle it down to maybe 56 minutes.
I can whittle it down to 59.8, maybe. Okay,
All right. Answer the question.
So Iceman, obviously, I said that before. My favorite cameo.
What is your connection to Bobby Drake?
I like his character concept. The way
Original or current?
Oh, that's hard because I only remember him from the 90s. Because
So
I didn't
pre-coming out.
exist until the 90s.
So pre-retcon.
But one of the things of his backstory of that time period was he discovered his powers by, like, just defending somebody from the school bully. Froze the dude completely. And it was a matter that he had no business in.
Stanley had a way of creating characters that had true meaning to it.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's like how I love how Colossus discovered his power. He stopped his sister from being run over by a tank.
Yeah, and then his sister went on to essentially be slightly more powerful than him.
Magic. Oh, she's scary.
Is that who that is?
Magic is Colossus' sister.
She's like one of my favorite characters.
Magic is Ilyana Rasputin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Peter Rasputin's little sister.
Tells you how much I've read the comics. I just like her concept.
Yeah. She's a great character.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but
please tell me I didn't just break my phone.
Please tell me you just broke your phone.
All right.
Go ahead.
Sorry, we were moving chairs, but...
All right, so while you two go smoke, so, like, my favorite cameo... See, on the internet, everyone's favorite cameo is that one in the Spider-Man movies where he says even one guy can make a difference.
Yeah.
Which is, like, his most famous one. But,
yeah, that's like the cameo version of with great power comes great responsibility.
Can I change my favorite cameo?
Why?
He's going to say that one.
No,
he's going to say the Teen Titans one.
No.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to say when he hosted Raw.
Oh!
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Stanley incorporated into wrestling.
Because during that segment, someone came out as Deadpool.
Oh, that's nice.
They came out and wrestled in his gear.
That's great.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm here to defend Stan's honor. Because one of the heels was making fun of Stan Lee.
God, I hate
Alright,
heels.
finish your...
Yeah. Okay, so...
rambling.
For my favorite cameo, it's a toss-up between the one where he's in The Amazing Spider-Man, where he's
leg lifter.
The janitor, and he's got the headphones on in the background. Spider-Man's fighting, I believe it's it's the Lizard.
Is it the Lizard?
Yeah, the newer movie.
Yeah.
The one where he yells crotch and beans him in the face with his crotch.
That would be Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Andrew Garfield.
But my favorite cameo is not actually from a Spider-Man movie. My favorite one has to be that scene, I can't remember which movie, it's one of the newer ones, where he's reading a comic book of the characters that are in that exact movie. I think it's Doctor Strange. When you see him in the taxi passing by, he's holding like Doctor Strange issue 1 or something like that, and he's reading it. And then to get into what Stan Lee means to me, there's a lot there to unpack. Because, like, when I was growing up, I didn't have, like, a lot of...
Hold on, just real quick. Me and Shay are standing at the door.
Yeah, I know, no one's
Alex
listening.
Is walking around, and Brad's just sitting there on his own, just intently, thoughtfully
You know, Brad,
thinking.
maybe you should stream.
Well, it's not my fault you guys don't
I
care.
love the live stream. I care. I just
Half
have
of
to stay.
streaming on Twitch is literally just talking to yourself. Like
Talking to
one of the
yourself,
reasons
yeah.
I would be so bad is because most of the conversations I hold in my head, and when you're live streaming, you have to remember to just say it out loud. And remember to check your second monitor every once in a while.
No, I wouldn't be able to look at a second monitor because I can't see out of one eye.
Okay, finish your
But,
story.
so, my thing about Stan Lee is when I was younger, I never got along with anybody. I didn't like people. I didn't like being around people. And I liked comic books, though. I read comic books. I said when I was younger, I didn't meet you till middle school. Yeah, Alex, I didn't meet you till middle school, well after I had learned about Jesus. And what he apparently meant to me.
Sorry, we were having a conversation over here, and we just completely missed that entire exchange.
It wasn't important.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't important to you guys, yeah, definitely, but... So I read...
We're kind of just jumping around here. We're back for, like, the first time as all four of us in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, like... It meant a lot because I spent a lot of time at home by myself after I was, like, 8. My mom didn't want me going to a babysitter. She's like, you can raise yourself. I'm like, I really have nothing to do. Yeah.
Sorry, but that is like...
Doesn't matter to her.
We're not going to go into that. That's a whole nother podcast.
That is like the D grade of Parenting 101.
Once again, that's a whole other podcast.
That's not quite an F, but she got like maybe a D- there.
Well, anyway, we'll touch that.
Yeah, I'm never going to get to finish my thing. This is going to be an hour thing if you keep interrupting. Like,
we got time.
So, I spent a lot of time with comic books. I read a lot. I learned about superheroes a lot. I thought superheroes were cool. Like, don't get me wrong. When I turned like 14 and it's like, hey, want to come play D&D? I'm like, that sounds cool. What's that about? And I learned about that. I'm like, oh, this would be better if there were superheroes in it.
See, with us, everything comes back to roleplay at some point in time.
Well, yeah, but
anyway.
So, like, I idolized those kind of characters. Like, DC was cool, don't get me wrong. I like DC if I wanted to see a good fight or a character that had awesome powers, but...
Or if you wanted something dark. Like
yeah,
Batman.
well, not even. It wasn't really dark, because even the kids' stuff was predictable.
Yeah, and Marvel...
But, like, Marvel had emotion to it. It had a... Like, if you look at a 2D platform, like a platform kind of thing, there's the action, and then there's the characters. But with, like, Marvel, when Stan Lee had a part in it, there was, like, a third dimension of, like, the characters actually had lives. They had emotion. There was stuff that happened outside of, gee, I'm Superman. I'm going to punch that guy. Now I'm going to go home and put on a suit. Yeah. There wasn't a lot there
How
for me.
do people not know he's fucking Superman?
So, special glasses, I'm telling you.
So, the girl, Supergirl, makes a joke about that. Where, Cat Grant noticed, like, at one point, she's like, do you really think some shiny glasses can stop the fact that your face looks the same? And yet she doesn't get it with Superman.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, it just doesn't, the glasses don't work.
Well, Kryptonian mind.
And it's like, Jimmy Olsen is playing Guardian, and he saves Cat Grant, and he's like, my name is Guardian. She's like, Jimmy, I can see your eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah!
Well, it's like the Ryan Reynolds thing. Is you think that mask is going to hide your cheekbones? Like,
yeah, I never understood the little bandit mask for superheroes. Little tiny thing that covers just the outside of your eyes. Doesn't cover your eyes, just the, like, eyelids.
Even with Batman, you're around... Like, if you're part of the hierarchy of, like, Gotham, you see Bruce Wayne enough to know the facial structure of Bruce Wayne.
With Batman's cowl, all you truly see on, like, the original
is
Batman...
his chin, his neck,
chin,
his
and
cheeks.
His mouth. His neck is covered to here, and it comes to right here. It comes just to under the nose. So, no cheeks or anything.
And the frame of the person...
It changes the shape of his head... Because he's got the ears, changes the shape of his head, also changes the shape of his body, because it's not form-fitting, it's, well...
Alright, well, when you get a Batman suit and you run around as Batman after shaving your beard, and I don't get it... Yeah.
I would truly be Batman!
I refuse to believe that you wouldn't be able to notice the difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's just so obvious. Even the new Joker makes jokes about it. Oh, the only way somebody could have all these gadgets is if they were as rich as Bruce Wayne. No, that's obvious. But Stan Lee had this way of just doing things and talking about things. Like, he was really open about, as people, we need to be kind to each other. That's things that he talked about a lot. He talked about things that...
Respect, responsibility, and...
He talked about core elements of being a human being that are just... lacking in modern society.
That's where I learned to have respect for people.
Same. I learned... Now, I am a jerk. Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, definitely. I'm an asshole. But
I learned that from, the other characters that I like. Dr. Doom.
Because I like the villains.
Yeah, exactly. I like Dr. Doom. I liked, No, just Dr. Doom. But,
see, and I don't like that.
Magneto. I loved Magneto, even though he was kind of a jerk. But... Like, when I talk about what Stan Lee meant to me, I never met him. I only observed from a distance, obviously, but he had an impact on who I am and how I think still to this day. Like, I when I was a teenager, I wanted to write comic books. I still want to.
Do. I'm just not good enough.
Well, I can write. I can't draw.
Like, well, yeah, you have to find an artist, but I'm good at telling a story. I'm not good at making that story fit into so many panels.
Oh, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but...
Kind of like when we were writing The Rise of the Red Star.
Yeah. Had like fucking, 6 chapters and then lost all of it?
1,326 pages.
Really? You got that much out?
Yep.
Goddamn, I was involved to like chapter
2?
Maybe 8.
I like the difference in number there. 2? 8?
No, because it was done on my computer, and then my computer crashed.
But like, one of the things I said is like, I would have wanted to meet him. I really did. I wanted to meet Stan Lee because I had so many questions for the guy. Of course, now, like when he was alive and around, like he was so famous, you couldn't get that time unless you were like on an interview or you caught him on the street or something. But it just hurts a lot, like because I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. I talked about it with Shay every now and then. Every time a celebrity died, I'm like, oh man, everyone's gonna be devastated when Stan Lee dies. And
We've
like,
discussed that.
And it's like, and then it happened, and at the moment when I found out, I had no words. Like I was tears, tears. That's it. Tears and watching videos was all I did.
I didn't cry, but I felt kind of this sense of emptiness, like, oh wow.
Well, to me, it's gonna sound bad, but to me, like Stan Lee's death impacted me than family members' deaths I've had that I've been near my entire life. Yeah. Because it just had more of an impact on me than anything they did.
I'm the opposite. Like, I feel like it didn't affect me as much as...
But the thing is, like, I mean, I know I'm going to come off really bad here, but you say it didn't affect you, but he literally affected 8 generations of people.
Right, but
so saying it doesn't affect you isn't technically true. But you didn't know that it affected you is what it is.
Well, that's just it. Like, when I found out, I messaged you, I messaged Alex, and I waited in the living room and I played Warframe.
Yeah, I understand that it doesn't mean a lot to people.
Like, I avoid every post on Facebook about it because I just don't care.
But see, that's what really bugs me is you say you don't care. Yeah. What you're saying at that point is, I don't care that I'm part of a community that was founded by this.
But he's
like, I get where you're coming from, and I understand it, but as someone whose life is so involved in it, when you say you don't care, that's like looking at me and being like, I don't care that we're friends.
No, it's not at all what it fucking means.
I know that's not what it means. I'm just saying that it had such an impact on my life. That's like if I told you that, I don't know, name one football player that's had such a huge impact on your life.
Adrian Peterson.
No. I wouldn't even care if he died. It's just
what I'm saying is like
not necessarily
something that's part of your core.
Okay, something that's part of your core. You saying that Stan Lee it doesn't matter that he's dead because I mean, you're not saying that, but
we're not just saying that you're saying it bad. We're just saying that
to us that's the same as if the Vikings, the football team, the Vikings. Right. You have been a fan of them since you were a baby.
Right.
If they up and just dissolved, and everybody said, well, good, because nobody liked the Vikings, you'd be sitting there going,
fuck you!
I like the Vikings. That was my team.
Mm.
If they just up and dissolved and were no longer around, and people were sitting there going, why do you care? Well, they don't know your history with it.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Well,
and that's what it is for him.
For me, it's more like if your mom passed away, and I had the audacity to call you and be like, so what are you doing today?
That's a little
For me, that's different. How it feels, though. Because for me, I didn't have parents or family around.
Really? Because
I was like
me. Less than an hour after the news of Stan Lee dying broke, you called me and literally said, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, I wanted to talk about it. I knew that it impacted you the same way it impacted me. I wanted to... Because everyone else I had told was like, yeah, we saw it coming. What about it? And I'm like,
Well,
that's not how you should react when someone dies.
The thing is, we all did see it coming. We knew it was coming.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to be okay with it.
It doesn't.
I'm not saying you have to be okay. I'm saying that
it doesn't,
you don't have to.
It doesn't diminish it.
Yeah.
Right. Never once have I said that it doesn't matter.
No,
yeah,
I understand that. I'm just
understand.
saying that to a lot of people, there are certain ways that people think nowadays, and I hate to be the one to say it because I'm totally against the people's opinions mean everything. But on this particular thing, when, like, it's an opinion that means something so much to people, like, it's one of those things, like, I don't come out and look at Destry every time there's something in the, I'm not going to use the anagram,
LGBTQ plus community.
When
Actually,
there's that
LGBTQ,
it's like a whole
QA plus community.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, because now we classify asexuals.
Yeah, but anyway, when something comes out in that community, like, I might talk to you about it, but I'm not just going to be like, oh, there was so much gay. Like, I'm not going to bash the crap out of it because I know that you're part of that community. I mean, you know, like, if somebody walked up to me on the street, right now, if I was out there right now and somebody's like, oh man, Stan Lee's death kind of sucked, oh well, I'd be like, do you know how much it affects everything?
I feel like I should probably clarify that I'm an ally.
And not a flag-bearing member?
And not like an actual, like, hardcore...
Not a soul. You're not part of the woke community?
I'm part of the community in the ally aspect. I feel like I should clarify that a bit. Because I was just sitting there going, did he just try to out me on a podcast? Not like that.
Oh yes, I probably did. Are you woke, Destry?
I am so woke.
That's not what this podcast is going to be about because I'd have to go take I'd have to smoke a cigarette.
Although, with me, LGBTQ issues are my predominant issues.
Now, see, the thing is, like, I get that it means a lot to everybody that it means a lot to.
But it just doesn't...
See, Stan Lee was a good champion for the LGBT.
Well, it is relevant and it isn't. I just don't want to see it every 2 posts.
Yeah, don't...
Well, you don't want to see anything every 2 posts, to be fair.
What the problem with it is Stan Lee passed away. It's sad, it's devastating to an entire community, but there is a lot of oversaturation.
And there's a point where it just becomes enough.
So for me, it's just like fucking 9/11 all over again.
That's a little different.
No, get this.
I'm listening.
Like, when 9/11 happened, there wasn't a day that went by for a month where it was in the news.
A month it was in the news for 5 fucking years.
You couldn't escape it.
You still can't escape it. Every 9/11.
That's what I'm saying, like...
I wonder if there's going to be a Stan Lee day.
It's going to get to that point where, like...
Free comic book day number 2.
Where it means a lot, sure, but I'm tired of hearing about it.
It's literally been 1 day.
Yeah, like, you got to get one time.
Yeah, but it's already that point for me. Like, it's all over my YouTube. It's all over my Facebook.
But it's been 1 day.
And it's probably going to be like that for maybe the next 2 weeks.
Unless there's another big catastrophic event.
Or another celebrity death.
Dude, there's a point right there. Celebrity death. Like, I don't feel like Stan Lee's as big of a celebrity as, you know, people like you and me see him as.
Stan Lee's not a huge celebrity outside of our community.
Exactly, and that's one thing that bugs me, though.
Yeah.
I think he should be.
Yeah, he should, because he influenced
he even got honored on, like, he's got a star on that one street that I care nothing for.
The Walk of Fame?
Yeah, that thing. The everybody who's famous whip out their dick contest, but Stan Lee got it honorary.
Right? Yeah, I get it. It's a little oversaturation too quickly.
Yeah.
Now, see, my thing is, I don't mind that people are talking about it. What pisses me off, and I'm going to go right into it, is I was watching videos right after I find out about it because I want to see what other people talk about. I want to see how it impacted people because I'm just that kind of person. I wanted to see, some inspirational shit. Like, I wanted to see, like, this well of renewal come over the community where we stop being toxic for like a little while.
It didn't happen.
And it did, to an aspect. I got to a video, because I was watching streamers do stuff at one point. And they were talking about it. I got to one where it was literally a guy playing Team Fortress 2. And it just had one line on it. It said, hashtag RIP Stan Lee commemoration. It was 30 minutes of a dude setting up a camp thing in Team Fortress 2, has his character sit in a chair, and then you hear him go, pop a soda or something, and go, well, Stan Lee's dead, and that was the end of the video, and I'm just like, no.
You know, it was probably a beer, and that's actually kind of a fitting...
Well, I get that. It's kind of fitting to, like, for, you know, what we're doing, but, like, I'm going to agree with somebody else I saw. This hashtag celebrity dying or hashtag whatever's going on is just to get more views. There's no true emotion behind some of it. I mean, even if there is, let it be known that you have an emotion about it.
That's like on YouTube. All these people commenting, R.I.P. Stanley, you will be missed, and stuff like that.
And then nothing.
And then the fact that they've probably never commented about Stanley or gave him a second thought.
Other than when he died.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that about everybody. There are people out
there's
there that
a lot of people that are invested. But
then there's these ones that just see a video and are like,
I gotta talk about that.
I gotta say rest in peace or rest in paradise or whatever the hell it is.
Like, and I hate to say that now because we're doing a podcast not even 2 days later, but we're doing it because it means something to most of us.
Because we have a connection.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to chime in? Because we're kind of hogging airtime here.
Well, I do have an...
my favorite thing that I've seen so far, and it's probably been my favorite thing for this whole Stan Lee thing, is it's a picture of Thanos standing over Stan Lee's grave. And Thanos goes, Stan, it was only supposed to erase half the universe, not the entire universe. Is it alright if I use the time stone on you? And that, to me...
that kind of makes...
That spoke more to me than... Like, after seeing that, I was like...
Aww.
Yeah, it hits you in the feels.
It means something.
Yeah,
even if you don't...
Because you can relate to it in a fashion
and
or
it's
a
like,
way.
yeah, I get it.
Because Thanos is like the villain of the moment.
Well, it's not
And
even the
Stanley
villain of the
created
moment
him, so.
thing. It's the...
But like,
it's somebody who meant, like you said, your whole universe to you, and then they're gone.
So that one that one actually spoke to me. I was like, cool, that's probably going to be like one of the few that I see. And then I start scrolling to go through all my friends' posts, and 9 out of 10 is a picture of like Spider-Man crying and holding his picture, and I'm like,
at that point, it's a meme. I mean, I don't want to joke, but
Spider-Man.
I'll throw my.
That one.
It was literally everywhere, and I was just like, log off Facebook.
Oh, I don't check Facebook anymore.
See, I only looked on YouTube because comicbook.com, the guy that I like, Rob, Comics Explained, has stuff about it.
I watched that.
It's important. Well, I mean, since you guys clearly don't care, because
he's just trying to talk, and you talked over him.
Oh, I didn't see him talk. He didn't know. I didn't.
That is
He's
great.
on my left.
He's
on my left.
He's in your blind spot.
He is. I'm sorry.
You talk about, oh no, Spider-Man's crying, and I all these certain pictures. Yeah, the Thanos one I've never seen. That actually sounds, very touching. The one that caught my attention, and it was only posted once, and I only saw it once. It's him standing in heaven.
Yeah,
Stan Lee standing in heaven going, you make amazing universes too. And he's pointing at Stan Lee.
Oh,
God
that's
is
beautiful.
pointing at Stan Lee and going, you make amazing universes too, boy.
I gotta know what God looked like in that comic now.
It's just a finger.
Oh,
that's cool. And I'm just like, that's the way he should be. That's the way he should have ended. That's the way he should enter.
Should be remembered for what he created.
Now, before we last time,
it's gonna be a while before we wrap up. So.
Oh no! Well, before we
excuse
did this
me.
podcast. No.
Isn't one of your shows having a finale tonight?
I'll download it.
He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I thought
this is more important.
Yeah, I was like.
No, but okay.
Yeah,
so
American Horror Story.
Yeah.
the last time the Destry was with us, we had talked about at the end we were going to do another Marvel one, which is funny because that's the one that we lost.
We were going to do another one too.
Marvel or DC one. We were going to do a comic book thing where we each picked an element of comic books that we liked, and we were going to talk about it.
No.
And, yeah.
The end of the last time I was here is the episode that got corrupted and we couldn't post.
But at the end of that episode, we talked about coming up with a topic.
At the end of that episode, we had said that the next topic was going to be each one of us was going to take a comic book character and do a deep dive on.
Yeah.
Was it a character? Because I wanted to do a concept, because I can't do a
Concept's
character.
fine. Concept's fine.
And my concept was, and I told
but that's
you
going to take a lot more research than I have done.
I don't need to do any research. I
All right,
spend too much time. My thing was going to be like, and it's weird because you and I talked about this on the phone, that it's weird that this was going to be my concept and this happened, is I wanted to talk about the way that characters in certain comics discussed and dealt with loss, like losing family, things like that. And I wanted to start with Batman because he's the first one to lose something, other than Superman, who
lost an entire planet.
He didn't lose that until he found out about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like I wanted to go into each character and talk about how they dealt with loss and how loss can be a thing. And it was going to be kind of a mix of the mental health thing, like, and it was also going to go into, you know, how I felt and how the characters felt, and then this happened, and it's like there's a lot to unpack there now.
You know, the predominant one that I think of when I think about grieving and loss, and then Stan Lee?
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Because he's got his character to this day still
Uncle
remembers
Ben, Gwen Stacy,
Mary Jane at one point.
Yeah.
Well, for Spider-Man Reign. Yeah.
Yeah, for Spider-Man, what happened was he loses Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
And it's literally,
Every time I hear Uncle Ben, I just automatically think of rice.
Oh, seriously? Every time I say Ben, I think of The Thing for no reason. I mean, other than he's Ben Grimm, but it started with Ben passing, and he was like, okay, I'm not using my power for what I should. And he starts doing it. And so he goes and tries to save everybody. And then Gwen Stacy dies, and he gets to this moment for a while.
It was quite a while later, but yeah.
It was a while later. He had a long grieving process. But now, even now, that effect is still with him where you can't save everyone. He says it in certain comics. He's like, you can't save everyone, Pete. He looks at somebody, you can't save everyone. That's his first bit of, like, first thing he says, or to end his speech to Miles Morales is, and remember, you can't save everyone, because
I'm not a huge Miles Morales fan. I like him, but
I understand that.
Peter Parker is my Spider-Man. Always will be.
Yeah. But, like, he's not the only character that goes through loss, but Spider-Man was a prime example of it because he's lost so much and stuff.
Well,
now,
really,
Scott's the worst.
Every character that has been in Marvel has gone through some form of loss.
Now, Cyclops.
Scott Summers.
Scott Summers is the worst example of how to take grief. Because, you know, his woman dies, and he suddenly goes
batshit nuts.
He goes straight on the side of Magneto. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go laser some people.
That's kind of how I am when I experience loss. You know what? Let's just go on a fucking murder spree.
Like he goes...
Not that I ever have, but I probably would.
But he goes on this negative tangent, and it goes all the way up until he passes away. Like, it's a grief that's affected it. And, like, loss is one of those things. And, like I said to you on the phone, it's weird that that's what I wanted to talk about when we finally got you back.
For me, my prime example of loss is when Kitty loses Colossus.
Oh, that's such a heart-rending scene.
Because she literally, like, hits rock bottom.
Oh, yeah.
And then when she finds him in Sinister's lab, it's like she just does this entire 360 where she goes through all 4 stages of denial, like, super quickly.
Yeah. Which is...
This all coming from the guy that, I don't know comics.
But
you just straight up drop Mr. Sinister.
You know how many people drop Mr. Sinister these days
without
knowing about the movie?
Yeah, not a lot of people bring that shit up.
But like,
or that scene's not really in the forefront of people's minds because a lot of people are into Kitty Pryde.
Like I said, Colossus is one of my favorite characters. He's one of the characters I know the most about.
Yeah, you didn't know his sister.
No, I really didn't. I didn't know they were related.
He's like, had I known she was his sister, I would have asked for her hand in marriage.
I would have been punched in the dick by Colossus to have her hand. No, but but like for me, that's one of the key things for Lost is because she takes it so hard,
and then just
like it's a year before they re-find him, and she doesn't date. She doesn't even talk to most of the other male students.
She even, for a time, leaves.
Yeah, she just disappears. I think for a while she goes on a bank robbing spree.
No, I think it wasn't a bank robbing spree.
Kitty.
It was she goes and trains with like some assassins or some crap.
Because of course there's assassins.
Yeah. But
anyway,
what's funny about that scene is I'm one of those people that see that and you get the emotional part of it. I still get the. How the hell did Sinister get his body? It freaking almost disintegrated. Like, what the shit? Like, I'm the one who reads House of M and goes, that's not how that works. But you know what? Go ahead.
Anyway,
House of M was
so we're at an hour.
Okay.
We can keep going.
Yeah,
I'm okay with going to a new topic.
The problem is
I've
my
bled out
extremities
as
are
well.
starting to go numb.
Yes, it's
mine are
quite
too.
cold.
It is quite cold out here.
So why don't we call it there? Before we call it, we'll discuss what we're going to talk about next time.
Why don't we
Do we
do
know what
we
we're going to
did-
talk about next
Well,
time?
That's what.
I still want to bring back the one that we had where
The
we
deep
all-
dive.
Well, the one before the deep dive, the one that got destroyed.
The list of favorites.
We should push those two together since we already know what we're going to say.
All right,
And just deep dive. Well, now I got to change mine.
Deep dive on our list of favorites.
Now I got to change mine.
Why?
Because mine was deep diving on the concept of loss and grief through characters. And
Yeah, fair enough.
All right,
that's just going to make me go,
we're
oh,
going to
Stan's
bring
gone.
up which one? Favorite characters, favorite wives, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, favorite storyline,
I
stuff
get
like
to
that.
come
By
out
a deep
again,
dive.
don't I?
Yeah, you get to come out again. Because all yours were male.
No, only one was, and it was Iceman, and shut up.
Yeah.
All right.
Which character would you go gay for?
It wasn't even which character you would go gay for. It was the top three you would marry, and my second was Bobby Drake. Give me a break.
Who would you marry? Bobby Drake.
Okay, so.
All right. That says a lot more than we anticipated.
So we're going to go into our list of our favorites again.
Yep.
Including which ring is our favorite.
We also need to do an update because we didn't talk about anything other than Stanley's death that was, that happened this week. Recap on games, things like that. What's been going on?
Yeah, this is our Stanley tribute. Next week we'll be back with the gaming news.
Regular stuff.
Regular topics and stuff like that.
I'm
surprised that we're at an hour already. It doesn't feel like it.
Next week, I definitely want to go into a semi-dive on me and Brad's feelings on 76.
Ugh! That's the title of that episode. Ugh! Put as many EUs and Gs in there you can.
So we're going to have to actually...
we're going to play more of it.
Alright.
It's not a bad review. Trust me, it's not a bad review. It's just a very thorny one.
Alright. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hey! No!
Excelsior!
Excelsior!
Oh, you screwed it up. Do it again. 3. Excelsior!
Enjoy.